very foundation of our government is that the people should have control over said government. So what happens when the government goes rogue? It doesn't always start at the federal level. Here's what happens when a city council goes rogue.
Welcome to everybody. Just want to go over a few ground rules. I get to limit public debate.
This is the second time, Sam, since you've been president, that you've started to limit people's opportunity to come forward. Would you do that? Would you say only 3 Republicans can speak or only 3 Baptists can speak? I don't think you would. And I don't think that this is fair. And I have something very important to talk to that I know a bunch of other people do, and I don't want to lose my temper, but this is sick.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kimbrell, we're going to have to just wrap it up.
The recommendation is that the City Council adopt the proposed ordinance creating Section 8 TAC 1, TAC 22 of the City Code to prohibit camping as defined on public property in the city limits.
It's very clear to me that this ordinance targets one group of citizens, and those citizens are homeless.
Respect our veterans. Let's work with the federal government, with all the federal buildings. I'm sorry.
Just stick to the ordinance, though, right now.
Okay.
All right, sir.
I honestly can't even believe I'm in this building talking about this. This is bonkers. This ordinance it's a crime against humanity. I talk about it all day. $5 million can open up a lot of vacant homes, open up a lot of shelters, safe houses for abused women and children, sexual abuse victims, domestic housewife.
Stay on topic, sir.
Abuse. That's very on topic.
It's not about a $5 million loan. This is about
It's very much about that, because all these problems are.
Okay.
We're being governed, and we're not having a chance to participate in.
You're out of order, sir.
I'm not out of order at all. You're out of order.
Father Monk.
This is all out of order. You're out of order. City Council is out of order. I can't even get eye contact. None of us can get eye contact.
Okay, that's fine.
And with the local business people, many of those who helped elect you and now support your administration, have basically come to you and have labeled you as the new Heimlich Himmler and asked you to come up with a new final solution to the homeless situation here in Pensacola. You continue to come up with these ordinances about the homeless. So just where do you want them to go? Here's some choices I have for you. You can put them in jail.
No, let's not go there. This is about the ordinance itself.
I'll stick to the ordinance.
I've let you go on a little bit longer than I should, so I'm just going to ask you
I apologize. I'll cut it off.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Alistair McKenzie. I am not here representing Occupy Pensacola. What I am here today to talk to you about is this no camping ordinance. I don't think it's constitutional, number one, despite, however, it may be mirrored to Joel versus City of Orlando. I think it's unacceptable. I know that you are not the ones who proposed it, so I could have saved y'all all that breath about calling you non-Christians by saying, I'm well aware that the person who put this forward is the mayor and his staff. And the mayor is not here to say why he put this before you or why not. But I can give you 2 inclinations as why.
I don't need to hear the motive of the mayor on this, sir. Speak to the ordinance itself, please.
Sir, when we're dealing with discrimination, motive is very important. But what you can draw from this is, 1, why is this ordinance before you? Because camping's suddenly a problem? No, it's before you because 8-1-7 is not a law that has ever been enforced. And so now they're trying to find something to enforce against Occupy Pensacola. Number 2, it's a blatant attack on the homeless, who have no other options. If you want to do something productive, then instead of pass this ordinance, why not form a council on the homeless? Why not get an open shelter for people that's funded by the city and private? Maybe you can make some sort of deal with local churches as well, invest some money in it. But just passing an ordinance like this is despicable. I mean, welcome to Christmas here.
Without the mayor bringing this forward and two council members having the courage of making a motion in a second, none of this discourse or discussion would be happening. So to stand and offend my sensibilities and question my faith, question my patriotism, and question where my heart may lie is offensive, and it will not get us anywhere. I urge you, if you want your voice to be heard and you want us to understand me, I speak for myself, not the rest of council, don't come in here and do that. This isn't about my faith. My faith is deeply intact. Do not question it again. Do not compare the mayor and his administration to the Third Reich. That is beyond offensive. That is not the place for this.
And just a moment. My apologies to the councilwoman for not calling him down on that. I was thinking in the broader free speech reign, but I'm not going to tolerate that from anyone else. Will Mr. Steve Embry raise his hand back there, please? Okay, Steve, you're the cutoff for this. Okay, you'll be the last one to speak. So, thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. And I echo Councilwoman DeWeese. I've been up here, and I feel that I have been accused of being a non-Christian, against the homeless, and I have been accused of many things that is just not true. I made the motion, and it was seconded. For you all that don't understand Robert's rules, that brings.
All right, that's it, sir.
You're not helping your cause by doing that. We're trying to have an adult discussion here.
The beginning of the Iraq War, protests were nationwide, worldwide, the largest anti-war protests since Vietnam, and nobody knows about them. The 24-hour, 7-day-a-week protest is what broke through the corporate media wall. And that is why there is so much animosity towards that aspect of this protest. And this is about politics. This is about freedom of speech, and that's why I'm here, and I hope you take that into consideration.
Thank you, sir.
What I wanted to talk about is what you're doing. You know, sometimes if we forget history, we repeat it. And as was pointed out, the Civil Rights Movement, which was a non-violent movement, but boy, the violence and the turmoil that came down on them has always been a black eye on this nation.
This is not the old civil rights, 60s civil rights discussion.
And I wanted to point out one other thing, according to history, because the times we are in right now reflect the 1930s a great deal. And there were what they called the bonus marches.
This is not the 1930s. Speak to the ordinance, Mr.
I am
Embry.
speaking to it. And the bonus marches were World War I
Mr. Embry,
veterans.
your time is up. Thank you.
How
Okay.
dare you, Chief, cut me off? You know my rank.
Excuse me. I just want one question.
No.
Where is the mayor? Why can we never see the mayor? That's not the mayor. That is Mr. Reynolds. He doesn't even live in Pensicola. He lives in Golf Breeze. When do we get to see the mayor? When? Can you tell me, please?
Chief.
Go ahead. Take me off. I don't care.
Yeah.
Where's the mayor?
Thank you.
Sleep him with a warm blanket.
Okay.
And I guess when I look at our ordinances, I always ask myself, what problem are we trying to solve? And clearly this ordinance doesn't solve the problem of homelessness. We aren't doing that with this ordinance.
But I am experiencing I'm having a unique experience here, simply because I grew up here in the 50s, and I remember ordinances that were put in place that we didn't even have an opportunity to address. They were just done. Back in the early 80s, I was at a local governmental meeting, and the chair had attempted to deny all the individuals in the audience the opportunity to speak that wanted to speak. And I remember investing $6 in a sunshine book, Meeting in the Sunshine. And I found the clause in that book that stated that when a board is in session, that everyone who would like to speak has to be given an opportunity to do so. And I read that, And when I went back to the meeting, I carried the little pamphlet. It was a little pamphlet about that thick. And I carried it with me as a Bible. Because if you're going to play the game, you'd better be aware of the rules.
Well, Mr. Geralds,
that applies to all of us.
Mr. Geralds, I thank you for trying to point that out. Supreme Court of Florida has been very, very clear on this issue, and it involved Pensicola very specifically. That ruling came out last year. The public has got a right to participate. They've got a right to let their voice be known. It does not necessarily mean speaking in the public forum itself.
The point that I made about that is because I have learned from experience that if something is brewing, the best way to diffuse it is to let people speak, get it off their chest. But if we let them leave here today with those same fears and angers bottled up inside, we're going to hear it again. If not today, tomorrow, or the next meeting that we have. I would be in favor of letting them get it off their chest. We can hear what their thoughts and concerns are, and then we can address them. But if we don't hear from them, we don't know what they're thinking. So it's important to let them get it out and deal with it once you've heard it. But if you guys want to rule it that way, go ahead. Thank you.